What up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Cosmic Creatives. This is our brand new show brought to you by QuasarCult.com. I'm your host, Ron Eder, with my host, Voodoo Eyes, co-host Voodoo Eyes.
What's good, y'all?
Today's guest is another legend out here in Phoenix for his extraordinary bars, sense of fashion, and being a family man and tradition, too. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Tay the Crown, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
I am
good,
doing
man.
all right, man. Really can't complain. You know, count my blessings, trying to be beautiful. Stay beautiful.
How's that working out?
Not very well in the beautiful department. But in terms of everything else, it's you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing just to be alive and be able to really
There it is.
come out and just do his thing. But how about you, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I couldn't be doing better, man. You know, every day waking up, it is a blessing. And I don't take that for granted. So, we taking advantage of all this time that we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. So
For sure.
let's talk about Tay the Crown.
Yes, sir.
I know a lot about you because I did your biography. That was several years back that we did that. But I don't think a lot of people understand like the legacy that you have here. One of the things that I thought was super interesting was your family legacy.
Yeah.
Out there in is it Surprise actually. Can you actually like talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, my family, the Marshall family, they came out here from Texas. They used to be sharecroppers. And they pretty much used to come out here every year and work until they saved up and bought some land. You know what I mean? They bought a nice portion of land out there in Surprise, Arizona, and they were one of the first black people to, reside, if not like in the Phoenix area, but right there on the far west side on Surprise, El Mirage, Peoria area,
Yeah, so you're basically your family legacy is like literally like been rooted here for a minute.
Yeah, since at least the 40s and 50s, man. It
Oh,
started.
that's dope. That's
know.
dope, man.
So does that kind of tie into like your name a little bit? Like is that why you call yourself Tay the Crown?
Nah, man. I call myself Tater. Somebody actually named me that because I used to drink a lot and I used to leave Crown Royal bags everywhere I go. So if they
That's a
show up
funny
to
story.
somebody's house and they see that bag, they knew I was there. So they started calling me Tater Crown Royal.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
So let's talk about your music a little bit. Like you tell these street stories and like the stories of your upbringing, family, all this stuff. But what does it mean to be like Tay the Crown? Like what do you really rap about? Like when someone asks you like, what's your story or what is that?
I try to rap about like the everyday. Man, I don't want to sound cliche, but I want to rap about the everyday human experience, whether it's a rich guy or a bum or a stripper or anybody that's a human. I want to rap about their experience and kind of relate. You know what I mean? I felt like I lived many lives. You know what I mean? And I still got many more to go. But in the small portion of life that I had, I did many things and I saw many things and been around many people, man. And I got a lot of stories to tell just in that manner. You know? What I mean?
Yeah. So you think that you're like an old soul kind of vibe? Like
I'm definitely an old soul type
Nah.
of vibe. My whole life I've been around older folks. I was the only child for a good portion of, my whole life. I'm my mother's only child, so I've been around grown folks. You know how it is when you're a baby, man.
No, yeah, I can
Nobody
definitely
else
relate
has
with
kids.
that. I can definitely relate with being like, an old soul and, seeing things through a different lens because of the people that you're around and the people
Yeah.
that, guided you and like,
Yeah.
a lot of older folks. No, I definitely feel that, bro. That's dope as fuck.
Cool.
yeah. So your last project was 1983,
Yeah, May 1983.
May 1983. So talk to me about that project a little bit. What was the theme behind that? I'm assuming that was the month and year that you were born, right?
Yeah, it's actually the month and year that me and the producer were born. So
And the producer was
Jake Lockley.
Jake Lockley.
You know what
Okay,
I'm
that
saying?
was
My man,
part of
Jake
your.
Lockley.
Is he a part of Toasted to the Gifted?
Yeah, he's one of our producers.
Okay.
One of our 4 producers actually now.
How many people are in TTG?
We have 4 producers at the moment, and we have 5 MCs. You know what I mean?
Dope. Hell
All creatives. They all wear different hats. Some are artists, like as far as making portraits and paintings and pop strack, and some are graphic designers. Some do other things like engineer besides produce.
Yeah.
I do merch. Everybody wears 4 or 5 different hats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to be when you're an artist and just,
In
in
2023, you
in
got
2023 you got to wear a lot of hats, bro. You feel me? So that's good
Can I
that
use this?
I feel like I feel like the artists that are wearing those different hats are the ones that are gonna be a lot more successful than the ones,
Yeah, it separates you from
It
everybody. And
definitely
plus,
separates you
you
from a
want to
lot.
learn all you can anyway. You want to do as much as you can
For
anyway
sure.
to get all the money you can.
For sure, for sure. That's
Yeah,
facts.
I think that's part of the reason why we even brought you on the show, because when it comes to being like a cosmic creative, it goes beyond just the initial skill set, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
knowing how to pivot and knowing that you're not going to make the living or the dreams that you were trying to achieve just off of like bars and all that. And one thing I know about you is that you're a family man.
Yes,
You
sir.
have several. How many kids you got?
I have 5 kids
Five
altogether.
kids.
5 kids and one grandchild.
Okay, yeah, and so going back to when we started this conversation, is talking about like legacy. Like you have a lot to like kind of to look forward to when it comes to that. And I'm saying
Yes, sir.
your seed is pretty well planted in the realm of Phoenix, Arizona's history.
Yes, sir.
And so when it comes to that, like, what is the most important thing to you when it comes to like legacy and being part of this family legacy? Is it the music, or is it like the clothing line, or is it just like being a family man? Like what makes what's the most important factor to you?
Man,
It could be all of it too.
yeah, because you kind of put it all in one. You know what I mean? But most importantly, I would have to say being a family man. You know,
Yeah.
being the leader of my household is the most
Yeah.
important thing. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of men that aren't doing it or don't know how to do it, and they escape from it. And I pride myself on sticking around and doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's something that it's something that we're supposed to do. Everything that's our responsibility, man.
Sure,
but
sure, yeah.
It's so
for sure.
fucking hard too. So
Is
You
that
know.
like I mean, just to get a little bit personal, like what's your relationship like with your father? Is it like something where like he was there to kind of show you the ropes, or did you have to kind of figure it out on your own?
My father wasn't around. Like I'm just now starting to get to know that side of my family. You know what I mean? So all the male figures in my life was like my grandfather, my uncles, and things
Yeah.
like that. I had to learn off of them. You know what I mean? And they were all good. It took a village. It literally took a village for me. You know
Yeah,
what I
sure,
mean?
absolutely. And I think that's like part of like the one of the most important things is when, because I mean, my father left me at an early age as well. I got a kid, and it's one of those things where if you're trying to raise a child, you know what I'm saying? Oftentimes you don't have that blueprint. You know what I'm saying? You can't just call pops and be like, yo, man, my son's on my nerves. You just
Yeah.
got to figure that shit out and make up your own formula to raise it. So, like, when it comes to being a father, how do you go about instilling values into your kid?
I looked at all the things that were taught to me. You know, I had a good upbringing. You know, that's one thing I cannot say is that I didn't have. You know, even though I didn't have certain people in my life, it doesn't mean that the people in my life didn't teach me anything good.
Yeah.
And I had excellent people in my life, man. And you know, and I try to bring those morals into what I do now with my children. You know, I still keep the old school values, man. You know, I don't really conform to things that go on in this generation. You know what I mean? It's so easy to let it get away to that point. You know what I mean? Let your kids and let YouTube raise your kids and technology and other people. You know what I mean? That's not
Yeah.
the route I'm trying to go. There's somebody always at my home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a family member. So I
So-
always try to keep it like that.
One thing you bring up that's like kind of like an interesting point
Mm-hmm.
is the social media and the technology aspect of it, because you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
And like you have to use this shit to get your name out here. Like we're literally going live on whatever social media right now, for the sake of like the visibility, being on TikTok. Now you're obviously not out there doing dances and doing all kinds of shit, but you gotta promote your shit.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to like your kids, like are your kids like completely off of that, or do they have like a little bit of access, or do you like kind of educate them on it, or like?
No, I let them. You know, I'm free-minded when it comes to that. You know, I was raised by a strict mother, just for the fact that I didn't have a father and I was her only child. So I try to be a little bit more less strict. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
I'm free-minded to what they like and what they want to do, and I don't want them to hide from me because they're gonna look at it anyway. I tried to restrict them before, but I didn't want to restrict them too much from the world. I want them to be aware of certain things at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Good or bad.
No, yeah. I think that's like going back to like the generational thing, right? Because I think that like the previous generation, because you and I are basically the same age. I was born in
Yeah.
May in 1984, right? So we're like
Okay.
a year apart, like
I know.
literally.
Gemini.
Gemini.
All right.
Yeah. May 23rd was my birthday.
All right. May 28th.
Yeah. We're born the same week. Man. Shit.
I know I liked you.
Yeah. So we see the same side of the thing, but
Yeah.
like the thing about that is that that generation before us, the one that raised us, it was a lot more strict. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the curfew, be home before the street lights,
Yeah.
like yada yada whoop de whoop. But our generation, we kind of saw it was because we had all that shit on us. You know what I'm saying? It kind of got to the point where it's like, you know what, just figure it out, man. If you need me, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go have those experiences, and you know we're gonna be right by your side when you're there. But
Yeah.
I think that's an important switch in like the generational site, especially when it comes to the music too. When you being an artist is the fact that like you're kind of almost pioneering that image in your child's mind.
Yeah.
Does your kid listen to your music?
Yeah. They do actually. You know,
Are they,
I don't force it on them.
Are they quoting in the car, or what? How's that work?
Yeah, man. You know, when they want something from me, they'll try to do that. One of my sons don't like my music at all, so you know I'm not.
He doesn't like your music at all.
He does, yeah, he just tired of hearing it. He just let it be known, like I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear it, and that's cool though. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them. I want them to be diverse as possible, man. And they're pretty. They got a pretty good damn taste in music, man. They put me on to some things, man. One of their favorite groups is Gorillaz. You know,
Okay.
I listened to them in the past, but now I'm more in tune with them,
Nah, they're
man.
dope,
I didn't know they
Yeah.
was that in tune with hip hop. You know,
Nah, like, I fuck with the girls heavy.
heavy. I fuck with them heavy
He's
now
got
too.
great taste.
I feel like
one of my favorite groups.
the access nowadays is just different though. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
like I feel like I was in the middle, not really like it was like in the the book. Still had to search in the book,
Yeah,
but still then we had the technology area. It was still like that, but the access is just different for this generation. You
It's
know?
unlimited
It's
now,
unlimited
you know
now.
what I'm
You know
saying?
what I mean? And it's kind of scary. So you got to be aware, but then also open, like you said. You feel me?
it's very scary because they still stumble. They still stumble on some shit
For
from
sure.
time to time. you know
Yeah,
what I'm
my
saying?
kids tell me all the time, like, "Dad, look what I found." I'm like, "Yeah, just block that shit."
As long as they know though, as long as they can catch it themselves.
Yeah,
they're doing a beautiful
exactly.
job, man.
And
Exactly.
the thing about the access too, like going back to that, it's like I think about when I had to like go buy an album, right? Like, save up my money. Prime example, when I bought
Those were the days.
Jay-Z's Blueprint, I remember that clear as day because I like worked all week to save up for that all week, but I had to work that day. Went to the store, bought it, loved the album.
Yeah.
But I also remember when I bought Dragon's The Opposite of H2O, which is by first of all, this is not a Swiss Beats diss track for you guys, but
I was about to get into that too. Okay, hold on, man. Hold on.
this is not
Did you
about
find
Swiss-
something you like from Swiss Beat, or
No,
where the beef started?
No, this is where the beef started. This is where the beef started because like I was a huge Dragon fan. No, he was
Yeah.
like DMX's protege.
Bro, yeah, he was the man at one point,
He
man.
was a
Yeah,
man at one point, right? And then he had that track on the Rough Riders album, Down Bottom. Do y'all niggas bust your guns?
yeah, his shit. That was his
that
like
was his
yeah,
shit, right? And
yeah.
so the album had a lot of hype to it. I remember buying that album, saving up my money, going to the store, putting it in, and just trying so hard to fucking like that album. Why? Because it was a sunken cost thing. I already bought the fucking album, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah,
like, so I
yeah.
listened to it like maybe like 20 times, and after the 20th time, I was like, nah, just toss that shit away. But when it comes to music, though, like, how do you try to strive to make timeless music? Because right now it's easy to do a trend, right? You can
Yeah.
do the Tay dance or something
Yeah,
like that, like
yeah.
a little Tay bop or something like that.
glad you
Like,
asked
you
that
know
question
what I'm saying,
too,
but
man.
how do you try to be timeless? You know what I'm saying?
Just do the music you like. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can say it, man. I try to do the music that I know that I will listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that if I put real life experiences that people can relate to, then it is timeless. You know what I mean? It's something that Pac was timeless. You know, a lot of people can say what they want to say, man. Oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. You know, I remember songs where he talked about, being married and having kids, and he was neither. You know what I mean? But I
Storytelling.
related to that so much. Like, damn, you know
Storytelling.
what I mean? Yeah.
It's a part of storytelling.
Yeah, I
is being
wanted
an
to be the
artist.
same type of artist to where you could just relate to everything. Not everything, but you can relate to it, or you know somebody. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? I went to prison where you heard nothing but stories. Stories and stories and stories. And you see people's emotions all day. You're forced to deal with them. And when you live in that type of environment, man, as an artist, like, it like marinates in you, man, forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah. But it also
my
teaches you as
expression.
well. It also
Yeah.
teaches you as well. So that's
Yeah.
what that's the good part of it, where you see some that's like like you're like, wow, I would not want to get to that point. You feel me? I'm already at this point for doing something that's, you know, that's light or whatever the fuck may be, but like, you know, it teaches you,
Yeah,
helps you grow.
exactly.
So I definitely feel that, bro.
So you mentioned going to prison. When it comes to your music, were you rapping before or after that,
I
or
was
during?
I was toying with it. I was on a run when I started to rap. You know,
Okay.
this is when I decided I wanted to do hip hop. When I was on the run, about to get locked up, I was able to squeeze out a video. It was a very good video. But then once I got in, I knew this is what I wanted to do for life. Once I got in there and it resonated in me, and I was able to be patient with myself and find myself, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew it was in me. I did poetry. I was a writer naturally already. I already had poems published in the National Library of Poetry when I was a freshman. That's in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So, but the poetry didn't resonate to the people that I was around, you know,
Yeah.
the type of writings I was doing. So music was a natural progression for me to do it, man, through hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, when you were in prison, was there like like, were you coming out deciding that you wanted to be a rapper, or like that was like while you were like having like your time in there, you were like, I'm gonna come out and be an artist?
Yep. From beginning to end, this is something that I knew that I was gonna do when I came out. There was nothing else for me left to do. You know what I mean? I knew I didn't want to do a 9 to 5. I knew that for a fact. I went in at the time when Arizona was on a kind of like a downslope of the Willie North Pole, the Juice, the Gigolos, that whole little era of when we was popping. You know, when we had the Super Bowl, the All-Star game, around that little era. I went to prison on the downfall of that. So I seen with my own eyes, like, damn, Arizona can get popping if it want to. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah, the potential was there.
And I always felt like I could
feel
do that. Like, I seen people around me do it, like in my inner circle. And I was like, I can do that, man. Like, you know, it took a lot of going through shit. I didn't have a story at the time. I didn't think so. You know, now that I'm looking back, I didn't have a story that could be portrayed at the time. And I didn't have a style. I didn't have nothing. I could just rap, you know, and that's all I had with me. I can slang a couple bars, but once I was able to mold it and know how to put shit together, oh, man, yeah, I started getting it. You know what I mean? Not exactly in prison, but I still, like, even till now, I'm still, like, progressing. I'm still
Sure,
trying
yeah.
to get it.
Yeah,
I'm
for
still
sure.
trying to get it. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like when it comes to true artistry, if you're a real artist, quote unquote, and I hate using that term, but you're never satisfied. Like, you're always growing. There's never a point in time where you're like,
yeah.
I'm the best, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could probably listen to your music and be like, man, I could have did that better. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, I
or the
listen
next
to
song you
everything
make,
and feel like
you're
that.
looking for deeper beats or more interesting production, things like that. I think that, like, the quest to be an artist is like forever.
When you're a musical artist at that, I feel exactly. It's a quest. It's a forever quest, man. Because it fucks with you. It fucks with me mentally. I can't speak for everybody else, but it fucks with me mentally when I hear other things, and I feel like, damn, that's a goddamn perfect song. How do I make a perfect song? How do I get my moment doing that? You know,
Yeah.
that's the part that fucks with me. But you know, as you keep making more and more music, and it goes away. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely an adaptation type of thing for this era of music. You know, like we've talked about it multiple times, just how many songs are released a day. There's like 60,000 songs that are uploaded up to Spotify every single day.
I wish you didn't say that right now
know what I
because
mean?
that gives you anxiety too. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying?
it's like you gotta really that just tells you know you gotta really step up your artistry, but then at the same time too you gotta you gotta put money behind yourself, like really
Yeah.
put real money behind yourself,
Yeah.
and at the same time, how easy is that, or how hard is that?
For an
You feel me?
independent, it's
For an
very
independent
hard.
person,
For an independent family man,
exactly, to be able to do that. So sometimes you know there was somebody, I don't know who it was that I seen say this, but they were like you know, it usually takes 10 years for you to get where you pop, like, you know what I mean, where people think it's an overnight, where it's like, nah, yeah, I've been doing this for years, you know what I mean?
I would say this would be my 7th year in
Yeah.
like taking it serious, saying this is what I'm gonna do.
Because you learn so much during that time period of 10 years. There's so much
Yeah.
trial and error between that 10 years.
Exactly. A lot
And
of
then-
money spent, a lot of money I didn't spend that I should have
Exactly.
spent. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Facts. And it's like you end up, I feel like during the 8th and 10th year where you're like, where they say you're like, okay, you know what's up. You find somebody that also guides you. and helps
Yeah.
you out during that time.
And
I feel
those are the
like.
moments I've been having lately.
Yep.
You know, those,
I feel
like I said, I've been doing it about 7 years. And
yeah.
you're probably right. It is like coming
I'm
up
telling
to
you.
10 years and I'm
Yep.
starting to meet people that are really fucking with me, man. People
Exactly,
that are in
exactly.
positions that matter, that can help
Yep.
me out. You know what I mean?
Same. That's what I'm saying. It's facts because I'm on that same thing too. I'm
Yeah.
right there.
That's what's
So
up.
Do you consider like yourself competitive? Like, do you like listen to like the like not the competition, but like other local artists or people who are on your tier or across the nation or even around the world and be like, oh man, that's kind of like I'm saying the spot, or do you have like someone that you shoot for, like an artist that you're like, I want to be in their position? You know what I'm saying? Do people call? Because I've heard things about you, and when I say that is that people compare you a lot to Nipsey Hussle, and so
Yeah, I
people
get
say, oh,
sometimes.
this is the Nipsey Hussle of Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that a lot of times when it comes to your music, and so when you hear that, are you like, damn, I gotta be like Nipsey Hussle? You know what I'm saying? Or just like that's like the pressure that you feel, or do you look at another artist?
I,
It's like,
I feel flattered when people like compare me to people, man, because it lets me know that I'm doing something right. You know, like I reminding them of somebody that they like or a superstar that they heard. You know,
Yeah.
I'm flattered by that, but I don't try to make that my aim, and I don't try to make that. I don't feel pressure off of nothing like that, man. I take that, but as far as being competitive, and yeah, I do be aiming for positions, not people's positions, but I be aiming for spots that I know I can get to, like little small goals. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Small independent goals, I would say, like a goal of mine would be, you know what, I'm gonna go get on a national tour this year. You know, and
like personal benchmarks that you need.
yeah, and I'll try to conquer those little goals. It might not be like let's per se, it might not come like in a major tour form, but it'll come in 3-4 little small tours, and I'll be satisfied with that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's cool. You know, because I didn't have any tours before, so. You know, that's the cool thing about being an independent, man. It don't always come in the form you want it to, but if you keep working at it, it'll come in some kind of form. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you see your would you sign major? Like if Universal was like, yo, what up?
It'll have to make sense, like money wise. Like I'm doing everything myself. If you would have asked me this question like maybe a year or two ago, I'd have been like, hell yeah, man. I'm thirsty for one, but nah, not no more because I know what it takes now. It just takes a little bit of bread, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
Yeah, it's always interesting when it comes to that because I think about artists like Drake, for example, and like there's a point in time where there was like a straight up bidding war over this man, and all these people were like going after his stuff, like doing this and that. But imagine if he just stayed independent.
Nah, the possibilities are endless. Think about, like, we talk about Drake all the time, but did y'all know that Bad Bunny is actually independent?
I heard about his deal, his 80-20 deal.
And he's probably one of the he's making so much bread right now, bro.
Right.
Like he's making a ridiculous amount of money just being independent. So it's like, do you really want to sign if that's the possibility? If you start seeing real money independently, like it's like, you know, because personally,
I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? There's people I heard about a lot of these contracts where a lot of these cats they sign for a 6-figure. I mean, you know, like maybe like 6 mil or something. And, you know, they got to give up everything else though. They got to give up tour money and all this.
Yeah.
And those are bad deals when you could do that shit yourself. Just
Exactly.
Futuristic is a great example, man. You know, I really, you know, I took heed to, you know, when he said that he came out the pocket for his own tour. You know what I mean? And, you know, the first one, I guess, was, it was a dud. You know, you lose a lot of money, but you gain a lot of experience and knowledge from that shit. And that's the key to do this shit, man. When you independent, man, you got to really, really get the knowledge and the wisdom from this shit and put it to use, execute, man, and don't bullshit with it, man.
No, just
Between
power is
yourself.
a true statement.
It
Yeah.
straight up is, man.
Yeah.
It's better than money, for real. It is.
Yeah, I feel that.
How do you obtain your knowledge? Are you reading a lot of books? Are you on YouTube a lot? Or are you just out there just experiencing things? Or like,
All of the above, man. I live through experience. I'm around a lot of people that live this life already, and they give me a lot of knowledge. A lot of millionaires around me, they give me a lot of knowledge. You know, I'm a documentary head. I watch other millionaires, and you know, anybody. I don't per se just stick to listening to musicians and getting feedback from that. I listen to all walks of life, people who are successful, period, man. And you know, and try to figure it out, for myself, try to find my own niche in this, My niche is clothing. I love doing clothing, man. I always loved clothing my whole life, and I found a way to blend that with my hip hop, and
We should do it. We
marriage
should
made
do
in
a
heaven. You know what I mean?
should do a fashion show, bro.
Yo,
Should do a fashion show.
hey,
Here. That'd be crazy.
that might be the key right there. For real. Seriously.
No,
Right?
that'd be tight. That'd be real cool.
I'm so with that. For real.
Start camps,
I
man.
did a couple of fashion shows already, but yeah, I'm with that one. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about the clothing line real quick. 'Cause
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, when I first started working with you, which was I built your website and your
Yes,
press
sir.
kit, you just were starting the clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet basically what you were doing at that point in time, you had a logo and you had a couple designs and you were basically putting on t-shirts at that time. And you had a couple of different ideas. I remember you running them by me and I'm like, yeah, you got some shit going. Now, I mean, this shirt that you just gave me is fire as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
You've come a long,
Thank
long
you.
way
Yeah.
like, in terms of just like your vision and just
Yeah.
like how that's manifested and grown. Let's talk about that process a little bit. Like, why did you even want to make clothing to begin with?
My mother used to make clothing when she was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of was getting the game from her. She's an artist she's a dope artist. I'm talking about original artwork.
Yeah.
And I just always thought, like, man, I want to put artwork on T-shirts, man. And I want to incorporate my creativity in it, man. And that's a way for me to be an artist, But I can't draw worth a lick. I do what I do, though. I'm pretty good. You know what I mean? And I just want to incorporate my creativity in everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist to the T, period, all the way around. Ain't no way around it, man.
Yeah.
My mother was an artist, like I said, man. I grew up with poetry, artwork on the wall, just posted up everywhere as a child. This shit is embedded in me, so it just comes out in clothing. You know what I mean?
Do your children do art at all?
Hell yeah, they're talented artists. It's crazy how that just is genetic. Yeah, talented artists.
That's facts.
I can
So
already see.
if they, this is like kind of a common question to ask people when it comes to their kids. If they wanted to go the artist route and be rappers, would you like 100% support them, or would you be like, you should pivot that into something else?
Yeah, I'll support it. They're right now. They're giving everything a try, and they're so young. They're
Sure.
they're extra young, and it amazes the hell out of me. But I try not to trip on it. I try not to let it amaze me too much. I let them be free and do what they do. My son, he sits there and he tries to write bars and rap and put it together. My other son, he sits there and he draws and he dances and he tries to do that side. He does the opposite of what the other one does,
Interesting.
which complements each other.
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean, so.
They can make a little group.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog, I'm trying to have a Jackson 5.
Just a team.
Jackson 2. Jackson 2. My son's name is Jackson, matter of fact. But yeah, they're talented kids, man. They're trying to figure it out. It's naturally in them. So, they're just little kids. I'm letting them do them.
So when it comes to your music, well, first of all, what are some of your musical inspirations? Like, what do you listen to? Like, what made Tay the Crown's music what it is today? Did you like listen to Motown around the house? What your mom listened to? Listen to your mom? Was she spitting bars? That's what Dobby told us. Dobby said that his mom taught him how to rap. Did your mom teach you how to rap too?
Possible. Nah, my mom didn't teach me how to rap, but she always kept a record player in the house. Always had vinyl records and tapes and cassettes, and she stayed playing like Teddy Pendergrass and 70s Solid Gold and Motown and Gladys Knight and Pimps, all that, man. She always kept that in my ear. My grandmother used to play the blues. She was a singer in the choir at church, and she used to take me to church, and I used to be in the choir too. So I kind of grew up in that element at the same time. It's a lot of soulfulness in my music, man. A lot of soulfulness, and you're gonna catch a glimpse of not religion, I would like to say, but of high above things. You know what I mean? Above the clouds stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Of higher beings. You know what I mean? I don't have a religion, but I like to say that I am a religious person. You know what I mean? I do believe in God. I believe in things. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
You have a
For sure.
belief, right?
For sure.
But versus being like, atheist, not believing in anything. You believe in
Yeah.
something. That's kind of how I believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not over here going to church, but I do believe in the concept of something being above us.
Did you grow up like with a religion? Of course, like with your
I
family.
did grow up Baptist, and
Me
I
too.
did go to Baptist church like every week. I was in Bible study.
Me too.
I did that for a while actually, and then I don't even know why I stopped going. Honestly,
I used to teach Sunday school when I was a teenager, man.
okay.
Like I was really getting deep into it. I remember I was smoking weed right before I taught Sunday school, and he said something about it, and I thought he was talking to me. I quit going to church after that. But then you live and learn, you search for your own truths throughout life, and
Right,
sometimes religion just ain't it. Sometimes it's just you see it for what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Never mind.
I think
Hey,
honestly,
we can
for
go all
me-
night with this. You know,
Yeah, no, I don't even want to get into that because I got a lot of opinions about religion.
I mean,
and just
honestly,
all
for
this
me,
'cause
I
it's
think when
just
it
not-
came to my religion, to be quite frank, it was drugs,
yeah,
like mushrooms and LSD and
Yeah.
psychedelics and stuff like,
like
that.
an awakening.
Yeah. I think that. I
I
think,
think
the
mine
first,
was too.
I think the first time I did DMT, I was like, bro, what the fuck did I just see? Like that wasn't God, some dude in the clouds. That was like the fabric and code of the universe that I just
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
And I need to process that. It's inexplainable. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah, I
when
know
actually
exactly
do it,
what you
but,
mean.
like,
I had those same
that's
awakenings
how I
too.
felt. You know what I'm saying? Like I no longer believed in like when I did DMT the first time when I was 19 years old. So, you know, I went into my adult world like,
Yeah, you learned early. You learned early, man.
y'all are wrong as shit. Why you going to church?
I feel that for
Yeah.
sure, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy
it's
to
wild
do
as
that.
fuck.
But anyways,
It is-
going back to the music before we go on a whole
We're gonna go into the black hole.
Before we go into
religion,
the,
man.
before we go down this rabbit hole real
podcast.
quick, let's not.
So when it comes to your music, the first part of the question I asked you was your inspirations.
That's right.
How do you inspire your kids musically or otherwise? Are you bumping Tater Crown in the whip? Are you like taking them to the library and be like, go grab some books? Are you just like, here's $40, go figure it out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, like I play what I play in my whip. I play what they play too. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the SpongeBob, I can't do all that. But I play what they play, but sometimes like they will catch a glimpse of what I do. Like I'll Wu-Tang, man, favorite group of all time, and I play them like religiously all the time. And you know, one of my sons, man, he likes the karate shit, you know, he's into that. So that caught his attention off top when he heard the what all that in the background. So he recites the 36 chambers like beautifully.
That's
Interesting.
hilarious.
Clark.
That's fire.
I'm so proud of him. you know
I
what I'm
remember
saying?
that
And
shit.
that's that
That's
without
dope.
me involved. That's him. One day I just looked back and it was rapping. I was like, "Whoa, shit! Yeah, he's been listening." But so when I caught that, I start playing different things. Like I start playing like Steely Dan. Start playing the Boys of Summer from just different things that I
switching
listen
it up.
to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, switching it
And
up for
see what he
sure.
likes, and he's very diverse. He likes like the White Stripes, and you know he likes different dope. He likes dope stuff, man.
One thing I was really blessed about my upbringing is the fact that like my mom, she was, you know, Motown and all that, like the soul samples. But my sister, the one that's closest to me in age, she was like on some rebellious, like I listened to Skid Row, Def Leppard, Metallica, Megadeth, all these bands nonstop, like fuck my parents kind of vibe during her teenage years. And at first I was like, but like in hindsight, like that shit like really was important to me to have that like access to like that new music because
Yeah.
it really influenced this to the creativity when it came to my art. What would you say is like the craziest thing about your music? When I say crazy, I mean like what makes like it insane where it's like, man, Tater Crown is like different from this dude, different from that person. What makes you stand out?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
No, not unbelievable. I'm
Oh, you are
believable.
believable.
Yeah, I'm very believable. You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying? I can look you in your eye and tell you
Right.
my story and you can believe it. You
Sure.
know what I mean? My story is your story.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? In certain ways, that you're going to catch one song. If you don't like them all, you're going to catch something that you can relate to. And that's my deepest quality, I feel like, man. I feel like I get deep down to my soul. It comes from like the bottom of my heart, everything I'm saying, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get cocky, you know. I'm a hip hop dude, and that's where the competitiveness
Facts.
come in. Sometimes I let my dick hang out.
Facts. You
know
gotta
what I
talk your shit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's part of it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
It's literally like just one of the pillars of hip hop.
It's ingrained in us as artists,
It's a
in hip hop.
competition.
So I feel that for sure.
you
Yes.
know, I like my story to come out how it comes out. You know what I mean? Sometimes I was a pimp. Sometimes I was a gangster. Sometimes I was this. Sometimes I was that. You know, I lived many lives, and
Yeah.
I'm really serious about that. And something has to relate to somebody. You know what I mean? And that's the coolest thing about my music. I feel like.
I fuck with that for sure,
So
man.
let's talk about TTG for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You said there were 5 producers,
We got 4 producers.
4 producers, and then 5 rappers.
Yeah.
Okay, and so are you guys like a Wu-Tang situation, or is this like you guys like link up from time to time, or you guys like?
We're a collective of men that were already doing their own thing. You know, we just came together and supported each other, man. If somebody has an event, we all show up and support that, man. If somebody's dropping a single, we make sure we share it. We got resources for them. Hey, I got somewhere over here that I've been going through. Here's a PR person I can give you.
Yeah.
You know, we just spread out our resources, and the more the merrier. You know, like I said, we got 4 producers, we got 5, 6 rappers, man, and that's a lot of resources.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you know, it's a hard thing to get. It's not as easy as people think it is to get a lot of people to come together for one common cause. You originally want your whole state to act like that. You know what I mean?
You hope.
So it's a blessing to just even have these fellas, you know, all come together for like that. I mean, I believe that's one of the reasons why I do have a little buzz, man, because I always have them there in support, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they help me do certain things. You know what I mean? Everybody understands the assignment.
Right.
That's part of it. Understanding the assignment is definitely part of it. Being on that same wave. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
the group thing is hard. I've tried it several times, and it's something that where it's like you have to really be on the same page.
Facts.
And if you're not,
Yeah.
it's gonna fall apart.
It definitely will.
Yeah.
You can
Communication.
try to get people on the same page, but if they're not, it's gonna.
It takes a big level of understanding. You know, you try not to bring your personal lives into your business and things like that. But I feel like in order for business to go right, you're gonna have to understand a person personally.
Yeah.
You got to understand sometimes what they go through, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can't always just be like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. It don't got nothing to do with me. If he's really your brother, if he's really your homie, and you really trying to be successful in this thing, you got to do some compromising, man.
Sure.
For real, that's just the way it
compromising.
is.
That's
You know
like
what I
probably
mean?
like. I mean, even you saying that, like, man, I haven't heard that word in a long ass time.
Yeah.
In terms of just
It's
like,
not a lot. It's
in
not
the,
used
in
a
the
lot.
world of hip hop. You don't hear
Yeah.
that a lot when it comes to compromises. Either like mine's or yours. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and one of us is gonna lose. You know what I'm saying, if
It's very egotistical, man.
Absolutely.
You got a lot of alpha males in one
that's
group,
facts.
and it's hard to, you know, it gets emotional sometimes, man. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people are strong and they got their own plan and their own thoughts, and I'm just trying to help everybody get their thoughts and goals out, you know, to the best of their ability.
So you kind of like already answered this question in a roundabout way, but what do you feel is one of the biggest problems about the Arizona hip hop scene? In my opinion, you kind of glossed over it, but you might have some different viewpoints on it in terms of, because a lot of people say like, oh, there's not enough unity, or there's too much unity, or people only pick certain people, or people don't pick certain people, or there's not anybody, like there's too many gatekeepers, or there's not enough gatekeepers. There's always people that's arguing and bullshitting, but I like to hear like your thoughts in terms of like when you look at Arizona hip hop, what's keeping it from being the next LA or the next Atlanta or the next whatever scene is popular right now in hip hop?
I feel like the people that should be directing the culture out here are like the people that already did this, that kind of already like the IROCs. I'm just gonna go ahead, like the IROCs and the Bookies and people that are in, you know, that used to be in these positions and already lived this life and already went through this game and can spread this word to us and help us. I think these should be like the people that we should elect to be in these positions, because a lot of these people that are in positions throwing these shows and, you know, just are some of these gatekeepers out here, they don't know a thing about hip hop. Some of them don't. Some of them just got a little bit of bread and they, you know, they got a couple of resources to do these things, man. But when you're fucking with the local scene and, you know, and you're trying to bring it up, you got to have some sense of knowledge of what's going on out here and how it went. You know what I mean? And
But the education and like the path and the growth.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you got to know where we came from with this shit at the same time, man. Like the Willie North Poles and all that shit. You got to know about each one of these eras and what the mistakes were and what didn't succeed at that time and what we can't do now and what we can do. You know what I mean? Right now is the best time more than ever for this state to thrive. Like
Yeah,
we
I
got
agree.
more than enough dope artists out here. We got more than enough
Facts.
dope artists doing big things and taking it to the next level. They're trying to give us the game now. You know what I mean? Like our generation of artists right now are every day trying to tell us how to do it.
Absolutely.
And if they're not telling us, they're giving it by example. All you got to do is just open your eyes and look.
I feel like you really can't tell somebody how to get this shit done. You really just got to go out there and do it, cuz
You gotta mix it all up. You gotta like kind of take a page off of everybody else's book. That's what I try to do, and I try to find out what's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you really got to risk it though, cause
Hell yeah.
I seen the other day that I seen this video the other day of T-Pain. He was talking about how like so many people in the industry told him like, nah, bro, like that auto tune shit ain't going. It's just a gimmick. Someone told him like he needs to do like other tracks. Somebody told him not to do this, and he was like, nah, fuck that. He went and did his own shit, and you know, look where he ended up. Just the legacy
Yeah.
that he has. You feel me? So it's like
Yeah.
you really got to step out the box and just do what you really want to do.
Yeah,
Like,
people told me my music was struggle music.
bro.
Like
Struggle, man.
struggle music. Like
Wow.
we don't want to hear that sad shit. Like, bro, it's like sad music you're talking about. Like even when I did poetry, they used to tell me it was like dark and you know, and I'm like,
I've
it's the
gotten that
part of
before.
life. You know what I mean?
I've
And
gotten that before.
yeah, and fast forward to now. I mean, the music that is coming up now is like boom bap now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like this, you know, and I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
stuck
everything
to my
happens in
guns.
cycles too.
Yeah, I stuck to my guns.
Yeah,
I could do any style. I could rap any kind of way. This
Facts.
is just what comes out of my heart. You know what I
Right,
mean? It
doing
comes
what's
out this way.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's the most important thing about it, because if not, otherwise, like that integrity, it will break at some point.
Yeah. I got frustrated at times because I was feeling like, fuck, man, I'm not gonna work out with this, man. They're not digging it. I knew what I was doing was dope, though. I knew like this shit gotta break. Somebody they feeling it. Everybody that I show this shit to is they feeling it, but it's just the people they don't want to play it on the radio. Like, you know, it's just different things, man. I remember certain DJs told me like, nah, they specifically, we want strip club type music. We don't want that type of shit. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Gotta find the outlets. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of no's to get that right. Yes, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But it takes a lot of it takes a lot of searching for your avenues too.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
You got to know what your avenue of things are.
and just stay consistent too.
Yeah, that's the
For
number
sure.
one thing. Stay consistent. That's my number one rule. Show up and stay consistent.
Yep.
So, what is next for Tay the Crown, TTG, the clothing line? Like, what's the next big thing that we can expect from you?
Well, I just dropped a 3x3 mixtape. That's what it's called, a 3x3 mixtape. I hooked up with some fellas out there in LA called West Coast Creations, and they do these mixtape series. And I shot the video out there in Chinatown, and that's a pretty dope thing that I did. Also, we got a tour coming up with Planet Asia. It's a 4-city tour: Oceanside, LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Might have a couple more dates added on to that. A little bit further, man, a lot more music dropping. I got an album coming this summer called Cactus and Palm Trees. Probably literally been recording this album for about 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Just been adding on piece by piece. Jesus, I got an album with a Grammy-nominated producer Checking Traps out here. I teamed up with Black Jehovah. It's another ill-ass artist out here. He has a clothing line called Pray Cloth. I don't know if you ever seen it. He has like the little teddy bear with the pray.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, man, he's a dope ass MC. Checking Traps pieced me up with him. We did every track, you know, wrote it on the spot, made every beat on the spot. The album's called Tabernacle. That should be coming out soon. We doing the final touches, the mixing, the mastering, and all that, and the sprinkles on the cake with that. Shit, man, I got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, you
man.
busy as hell, man.
Yeah, we got another tour that we're developing to ourselves that we're trying to, small city tour, you know what I mean? We don't got a name or nothing for it yet, but we do got a lot of, you know, we got venues and stuff lined up and a couple dates. So that's my
Alright.
main thing. I'm trying to hit the road and do more than just LA and Vegas. I want to go out and you know, show my royal
Be
oats.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you're out here, and like I said, like watching your growth has been dope, because I when we first started working together, you were like just like kind of really getting into it. You're taking this shit seriously, like you're a press kid. You heard around the block that I was the guy at the press kits. We started started to get to know you. Shot a couple videos or a video, and you know, it's just dope to see you fucking build, man, and get to this
Thank you,
point.
man.
So we appreciate you being on the show. We're gonna we have a show coming up here with you soon.
Yes, on the 29th. Man.
Yeah, right here on this stage over here, guys. Tay the Crown will be playing over here at Star Camp Creative Labs. We are actually going to go ahead and wrap this episode, but we are going to actually go ahead and shoot a special performance of one of your songs. If you guys want to see that performance, go check out the episode on YouTube when it comes out. Go to Cult Life on YouTube. That's QULTLYFE. And you know the episode will be there.
Yep.
We appreciate you,
That's
Jay
right.
Crown. Do you have anything else you want to say? Any shout outs or anything like that?
Yeah, let me give a shout out to all my homeboys locked up. And you know, man, miss you. See you when you get home. Shout out to my boys out there. I know they're gonna see this. My son's at home. I love you. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the wifey. Yeah, we just took that trip to Vegas. She thugged it out with me. Yeah. And,
Take
you
the
know,
crown. Let's
all the
go.
homies and all the fans out there, man. Peace, love, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all soon. Take care. Thanks for
Love.
watching Cosmic Creative. Peace.
Peace, y'all.